All right, we talked about dividing a polynomial, which is this thing, by a binomial in class today. Here are the problems that we went over in class. I'll go over them with you again in case you get stuck. Excuse me. The word quotient tells you that you're dividing, so don't freak out. I don't know why this stupid thing is right here. It keeps popping up there. Um, so the word quotient means you're dividing, and then don't freak out when it looks like that. Um, the second term, the 2x minus 3, is going to go on the bottom. So what you're going to do is it'll look like this. The 6x squared minus 19x plus 15 divided by 2x minus 3. So you guys can all do this. That just is not popping up. That's one you can all do. All right? So you're going to want to dividing it like that. I'm going to put it over here now so it's out of our way so we can start dividing. And like we talked about in class, dividing binomials is really factoring. We're going to factor out what we have and cross out whatever is left over. And whatever we have left over is our answer. I think I said that right. Okay, this one, 6x squared, 19x, and 15. 6 breaks down to 2 and 3. 19 is prime, and 15 is 3 and 5. And they have nothing in common, so you can't factor out any GCF. Let's go back to our old friend and multiplying all the other stuff. Step number 1, you're multiplying A and C like we've done 1,000 times. 6 times 15 is 90. Step number 2 is you got to write down the factors of 90, and there's lots of them. Now, the better you are at multiplication, the easier this will be. 30. I don't think 40 goes into 90. 4 goes into 90, but I don't need it anyway. 5 goes into 90, 18. 6 goes into 90. Actually, I'm going to skip things and go right to the one I want. I want the number 9 and 10. I know that 9 times 10 is 90. I also know that 9 plus 10 is 19. So if I know that, I don't have to write all these down. But if I'm stuck, then you have to write everything down. Now, I know what the answer is because of what I just said. So I'm going to skip right to step number 3. How can I use these numbers? I have a 9 and a 10, and they have to add up to negative 19. So by now, I'm hoping you remember that if you're adding two numbers and you want the answer to be negative, and you multiply them and have to be positive, both numbers have to be negative. So negative 9 plus negative 10 equals negative 19. And negative 9 times negative 10 is equal to positive 90. So that meets both criteria that we want. We want to add up to negative 19 and multiply to 90. Step 4 is our friend, the fraction. Those of you, this will be a good friend for some of you. A is 6. That's what we know. And then over my number 3, my first value of number 3 is negative 9. So 6 over negative 9. My second value of A is still 6. My second number 3 is negative 10. I pull that from question number 3. All right, now I've reduced my fractions. 6 over negative 9 does reduce. You can divide both of them by 3. So I would get 2 over negative 3. Use a different color. And 6 over negative 10, they both can be divided by 2. So that would be 3 over negative 5. Those are my two fractions. Step number 5, which I'm almost done now, are my binomials. It's 2x minus 3 and 3x minus 5. Okay? I've almost finished the entire thing. The last step, I'm going to, once you factor, then you divide. So I'm going to just kind of make these numbers smaller so I can work out the rest of this problem. But if you need to back it up, I'll keep them over here. So, the last part is the actual dividing. So when I was asked to factor this, my answer that I got was that. So I'm going to take my 2x minus 3 and my 3x minus 5 and divide that by 2x minus 3 because I was asked to find the quotient. That means divide it. Okay? So we talked about in class, as I mumbled through that. This I factor, the 6x squared minus 19x plus 15. When I factor it, I get this as my answer. Then I can divide it by 2x minus 3. The easy part is once I have this all set up, dividing is just crossing out what they have in common. Because 2x minus 3 divided by 2x minus 3 equals 1, which really cancels it out, because if I put a 1 here, 1 times 3x minus 5 is 3x minus 5. So you can skip the times 1 step. It's entirely up to you, but that's the answer I'm looking for.